Open up. This is a compliance visit. That's what she hollered standing there on my porch behind two cops like she'd just drafted the whole local police department into fighting her HOA war. I hadn't even had coffee yet, and suddenly my old cedar fence was being treated like some kind of felony all before sunrise on a Tuesday. You ever get that feeling like the day's about to go sideways? Yeah, that happened right there in my doorway. She shoved a piece of paper at the cops that looked official, but I knew right away something was off, too shiny, too desperate, like a stage prop for community theater. I remember thinking, if you're really holding city power, why does it feel so fake? Let me know, would you have slammed the door or stood there like a dope trying to play detective with two police officers and a woman who thought she owned the neighborhood? If somebody waves fake papers at you, what's the first thing you check besides your own blood pressure? I should have known something was wrong just from the knock, too hard, too steady. Not a friendly neighbor, not even a package guy. No, this was the kind of knock that makes your gut clench even when you know you didn't do anything wrong. On my doorbell cam, I see two officers' faces all business, and there she is, Valerie Mitchell, our HOA president, standing off to the left, half hiding behind them, but still close enough to make it look like she'd called in the National Guard. She's gripping a piece of paper with a seal that glints in the morning light, acting like it's a golden ticket. I rub my eyes, glance at the clock, 6:30. Who shows up at your door at 6:30 on a Tuesday if you're not dead or headed to jail? I'm still in yesterday's jeans, a wrinkled shirt, already dreading whatever crusade Valerie's on about today. She's been picking at our house for 3 years now. Mailbox too far from the curb lawn, not edged to her taste. This fence, which was here when we moved in, apparently not matching her personal vision for the neighborhood aesthetic. I open the door, and the taller cop guy with gray at his temples and a mustache straight out of a 90s cop show steps up, name tag, says Walsh. He looks like he'd rather be at a donut shop than standing in my yard at dawn. His partner, younger guy, keeps glancing between me and Valerie, probably wondering if he missed a memo about why the HOA president is giving out orders. Valerie, of course, is bouncing on her toes, that fake community leader smile plastered on her face. This is part of our new pilot program. With the city, she announces, waving the paper like she's on a game show. We're maintaining property values, ensuring compliance, she says, reading it like she memorized her lines for the big day. Something about her tone is just off, rehearsed, not confident, like she's afraid of being caught mid-lie. Before I can ask to see her credentials, the front door opens behind me. My wife Janelle steps out, checking her radio, dressed in her full deputy sheriff's uniform badge and all. You ever see a room change in an instant? Both cops snap to attention like somebody pulled their strings. Valerie's confidence flickers, turns to a panic so quick you could almost miss it. Morning, officers, Janelle says, her professional voice on. Deputy Brooks County Sheriff, badge numbers dispatch case ID for this call. Just a routine ask for any law enforcement pro, but said in a way that, she expects a real answer. Walsh reaches for his radio, then pauses. His partner is already looking nervous. Valerie's voice jumps an octave, hands shaking now as she tries to resell her story. Janelle steps closer, not threatening, just focused. Takes a good look at Valerie's official document, and that's when everything starts to unravel. 10 seconds, that's all it takes for Janelle to spot the flaws, wrong format. Bad seal, no city case number, municipal insignia, not even. Right. You actually think this is from the city. Look at it. She points out every detail like she's teaching a class. Officer Walsh looks at the paper, his face shifting from official business to uh-oh. The young guy's already calling dispatch to check if this is for real. Valerie's face goes beet red, then pale. She tries to stammer out her story about proper authorization and the city supporting her efforts. But even as she's talking, she's backing down the steps, clutching that fake notice like a teddy bear. By now, the neighbors are peeking out their windows. Mrs. Patterson, 2 houses down, is out in her robe pretending to get the paper, definitely eavesdropping. The Johnson kid across the street is filming from the window, probably streaming the whole circus for his buddies. Officer Walsh comes back after radioing dispatch. No record of any city compliance visit, no pilot program, nothing. Valerie tries to dodge, but Janelle's not having it. She takes the document, inspects it for all of 30 seconds, then announces loud enough for half the street to hear, "This is just home-printed, low-res city seal fake signature block. No employee number. Not legal." The silence is brutal. Walsh looks at Valerie, then at me. "Ma'am, we're going to need you to come with us. We need to clarify what's going on and make sure this hasn't happened anywhere else." Valerie tries to protest, but Walsh isn't taking questions. As they walk her to the patrol car, I ask, "How many other houses has she brought you to with this scam?" That one hits home. He nods quietly, says they'll be looking into it, and I realize this little morning battle is just the start. 3 days later, I find a bright orange tag taped to my front gate QR code. City logos looks official. I scan it out of sheer paranoia. The site it sends me to is slick, wants my info, wants $75 to review my case, and has a 72-hour countdown timer, pay or face daily fines. Except the web address isn't .gov, it's .com. I do a quick search and guess who owns it? Valerie's brother's contracting business, the same brother who always gets the HOA jobs. It's a protection racket, dressed up like civic duty, scan, pay, shut up. Except Mrs. Patterson paid $300. The Johnsons paid $200. The old man at the end of the block paid $400 for a bogus mailbox violation. In a month, $500 gone, just from the people I checked. Valerie and her brother are running a full-on shakedown with fake city authority police as props and a payment portal that looks just real enough to fool anybody too tired or trusting to double-check. I start digging. City tells me their compliance notices only come by certified mail, always with signatures and case numbers. No QR codes, no online payments, definitely no HOA pilot program. I call Walsh and he tells me he's responded to 7 calls in 3 months. Every one of them, Valerie orchestrating a fake crisis, every one ending with someone paying money through that scam site. Now the kicker. Valerie files a complaint against Janelle, claims abuse of authority because my wife exposed the fraud, tries to get her investigated by internal affairs, tries to ruin her career as payback. Then the HOA sends out invites to a vendor day, pushing their exclusive city partnership with QR codes linking right back to the scam portal. So I show up evidence in hand. Valerie's in full spin mode selling the city partnership when I ask her on camera which city department authorized her portal. She tries to dodge. I reveal the website ownership, point out her brother's connection. Mrs. Patterson steps forward, tells everyone she paid $300, and the city has no record. Walsh, in plain clothes, steps up, tells Valerie it's time for a real conversation. Half the room is filming now. Within a week, I get a cease and desist from Valerie's lawyers threatening to sue for defamation and interference. Janelle's facing a professional investigation. I'm facing lawsuits. Then the city calls a fraud investigation is underway and I'm called in as a witness. Turns out Valerie's been siphoning off HOA funds, running kickbacks, setting up fake invoices over $40,000 stolen from families right here. The evidence is a masterclass in arrogance. She documented everything, believing nobody'd look. But the DA's office freezes the accounts, the court steps in, and suddenly Valerie's whole empire collapses overnight. She tries to withdraw $30,000 at an ATM, finds her card frozen. Walsh is there, watches her melt down as the bank shuts her out. 6 months later, Valerie stands in court, sentenced to probation, 300 hours community service, $47,000 restitution, banned from HOA leadership. Her brother's business licenses revoked. The city creates a task force. New laws go and the neighborhood starts to heal. Mrs. Patterson becomes the resident fraud watchdog. Walsh helps train cops to spot fake authority. Janelle's internal affairs case dropped with commendations for proper conduct. Me, I chair a new oversight committee, never thought I'd volunteer, but I guess sometimes you have to step up. We teach folks how to verify documents, spot scams, demand transparency. The fence that started it all, still standing. Turns out sometimes the best revenge is just refusing to accept fake problems as real. You know what I learned? Real authority isn't about seals and uniforms. It's about integrity. Power only works if people play along. The moment you stop, everything changes. So what would you have done? Would you trust the system or fight back yourself? Drop your story in the comments. I'm listening. And hey, guard your fences and your mornings. Life's quieter that way.